Well, I had one bad trade today, but I was very patient and found a couple of really nice setups, came away with a nice green day. Very happy with it. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. It is Wednesday, April the 16th. And like I just said, I had a really nice day. I'm very happy with the day. I made one bad mistake, very stupid trade. But overall, the key thing for me today was being patient and waiting for trades to set up, specifically waiting through all of this move and sell off on NQ to have a break and retest set up. I was looking for this trade all the way up here. I was thinking to myself, I really am looking for a break and retest short underneath the NQ 18300s, and that trade developed, and I caught a really nice trade down here. I was very happy with it. So just waiting for that move, looking for the move, kind of planning in advance to look for that to happen, and then to actually have it set up, take the setup, take the trade. Awesome feeling. So let's walk through. We'll just dive right through. I'm going to go through the TradeZella first, and then we'll dive into a couple of the trades. I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can so I don't bore you, but today, 60% win rate, $534 in profits. The bottom four Apex accounts, about 160, 170 per account. These accounts, I've got them up to 400 to 600 in profit. Really happy with that. I like the direction that we're going there. The other two accounts, we were a little bit of an up and down day, ended up giving back a few bucks on those, but not too bad. Really happy with a 60% win rate with the way I'm trading. Notice the average win to loss much improved because I'm looking for bigger moves. 1.72 average winner today was 146, average loser was 85, and we are green on the week. Last couple of weeks we've had a couple nice green weeks, nothing big, but again, I'm just really trying to refocus my trading, and since making this change this week, definitely feel a lot more comfortable. Again, it is just simply my style and what fits my mental game. Let's look at some of the trades. I think that's going to be the most interesting to kind of dive in. So let's take this first one, which was a trade in gold that was a break and retest of the overnight highs. Matter of fact, let's go to gold and let me just kind of show you that setup. So here's gold. And if you look at this big move, and in the overnight we made a brand new high, which I marked with this red line, and then this morning this is what we were looking at. We broke this, and I liked this retest, and I thought we might pull back into some of these areas before we push for further upside. And I did catch the one contract. I took one off at nearly 1R, and we basically held through this little area right here. You can see kind of right there where my cursor is at. We really kind of held this, turned this into support, and pushed for a monstrous move to the upside. And I really thought about taking my profit when we came all the way back down here on this big move, but I decided to let the trade work. I had taken some profit off, and I knew that if I get stopped out where my stop was at, I wasn't going to have a big loss. It was worth the shot. And if I was wrong, I was just wrong, and I'm okay with that. This, in my opinion, this was a good loss. Let's go back to TradeZella. We'll look at that. So here's what I wrote: break and retest of the overnight highs. Took one off at nearly 1R. Could have closed the trade, but decided to let it work. It was worth a shot. Need to take the setups. This was a good loss. I think this is a key thing for me is being able to understand when you have these setups that you're happy with. Take one off and let the trade work. And if you get stopped out, it's not that big of a deal. So that was really good. This one here is the one that was the bad trade. This was just an absolute stupid trade. I deserve a major loss on this one. Didn't think this trade through at all. Spotted what I thought was an opportunity and entered within seconds. Literally, I probably studied this trade for 15 seconds. There was a small hint of a break and retest of some overnight low wicks and VWAP. Just a series of bad decisions. I need to stop doing this. So here's the entry. We had this move. We had pushed back down, pushed up. We rejected VWAP, and we were consolidating there for a little bit. And if you look at ES right here, Actually, let me just zoom this in a little bit. We were basically kind of testing this wick and these little highs. And so it was almost like support, resistance, hoping for again resistance. Just, it was not a very good, not a very clearly thought out setup, and it just completely failed. And so that was a flat out bad trade, and we definitely took the loss, took the L on that one, which is fine. But that was my mistake trade today. Now I'll just go. There's 5 trades. It won't take that long. This one here was a really nice rejection of the 5400 ES 5400s. We had that big move to the upside this morning. I was a little bit too careful with the entry. I could have taken the trade a bit earlier, but it was a good trade. Really nice $160 winner. The R factor there was a little bit over 1 R, so happy with that one. Again, I probably should have taken the entry up here instead of waiting. I was just really trying to make sure that we don't just, wick down and then shoot back up through these highs because of the big move. So it ended up being a really nice trade. Let's go to ES, and I've highlighted that trade here. Let's just pull it up. That was on these accounts, so you can see the entry was right here. I took the first contract off right here at VWAP, and I took the second one. When we started getting these little wicks in here and we started wicking, I decided to just take profit. I was not going to risk this thing going back up, and it was at that point a really solid trade there, $160. Now, the interesting thing is, had I held, look at what this could have become. I'm not going to go there as far as chiding myself, but this was really the high that ended up, if I could have held through all that, and I could have, I could have set my stop at like VWAP and just held it there, which may have been the right call. But we ended up falling all the way down here. That could have been just an absolute monster of a trade. But again, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at, I executed a nice setup, took some profits, and I'm happy with that. So now on to the last one, or I think the last one. No, there's 2 more. This one right here was the one that I really like. This is why I do what I do. This is why I like these types of setups. Break and retest of the 18300s. I was very patient in waiting for this setup to develop. Didn't take a couple of longs because of the big sell-off. It was totally the right call. This trade ate up a lot of mental capital because of the sluggish up and down price action. I was emotionally a little bit drained after this trade. I finally took the second contract off after a nasty 30-point pullback. Unfortunately, I wish I could have held it, and I would have hit my original profit target and had a full 2-hour trade. Nice trade regardless. Being patient, waiting for the trade to set up properly was the key. That was the huge takeaway, is waiting for this trade to set up. You can see we had several wicks that rejected below this 18.3, and that's what that's what triggered the entry there on the short side. Let's look at that trade on NQ. So you can see here's where Powell started speaking, and this really would have been a nice trade, but just because of the volatility and the volume, because of when he was speaking, I really didn't want to take that short. You really had that short both on ES and on NQ. The better, cleaner one was on NQ off the 18500s, but I just simply didn't take it. A beautiful retest right here of the overnight lows. There's a lot of things going here, but I just didn't want to take it on a funded account. I felt it was too risky with the volume volatility. So as we were selling off, and I spoke about this at the outset, I was waiting for this to develop. I almost took this, but didn't take it because I said, if I'm taking a trade here, it's got to be a break and retest below this. And if that develops, we'll take a setup. And if not, it is what it is. I would rather protect capital and take good trades. So let's put this trade on the charts here. So you can see, this is what I wanted to show you. This wick rejected, took the entry. Had to sit through a little bit of drawdown here, not much, but had to sit through a little bit. And I finally, this was what was so draining. It would push down, push back up, push down, push back up. And I finally took this profit target, the first contract off, at less than a 1R, probably about a 0.75R. But I decided, man, I've got to take something and protect myself. Kind of like that gold trade this morning. Take at least something, and if it goes back and stops you out, you're not going to have much of a loss. But it finally did push on through, and then we had this big candle pushing down, and my target, my second target was right here at the bottom of the screen box. And we had this push down and then this nasty 30-point wick back up, and I just couldn't stomach it. Unfortunately, I just couldn't stomach it. And I just said, you know what, I'm taking profit. And I mean, it was a good call. It's a $176 trade. I was really happy with that. You know, it's a really, really nice trade. And we did end up then pushing back down, and then we started chopping when we ultimately did end up kind of V-shaping and pushing back out of here. So very happy with that trade. That was a huge mental win of just, you know, every bone in my body wanted to kill that trade before this, you know. And if I'm going to trade this way and look for bigger moves, I have to be able to hold through some of these trades. So I was very happy with the execution there. Last trade of the day was this one here, which was on ES. And this was really, I was really looking for a scalp. I really, really like this setup too. I took this trade because of the 5250 hold on ES after the big sell-off. I waited quite a bit before taking the entry and was only in with one contract. I felt that the hold was good and that we'd have an end of day push higher after the big sell-off and this clear hold of the 5250s. I started trailing my stop after about 15 points into profit and did leave some money on the table since my stop got hit at 20 points, but the trade idea was more of a scalp than a big move, so I was quite happy. Again, I entered here. I could have taken this a little bit earlier, but I was afraid of a move back down. And finally, when we had this little red candle pushing back out, I decided to take this entry long. Again, only one contract, and here's, you know, I'm risking $150 per trade. So in this case, I can have a big wide stop, which was really, really nice. I had to sit through a little bit of drawdown, nothing much. But now if we look at the trade on the chart, you can kind of see what happened here. So here's the trade, here's the risk and the upside. Let's pull this one up. This is 70.69. So entered there, had to sit through this chop, and then we got the push. I really thought because of this big move, and if this is really going to hold, and we had kind of made a higher low here, I thought we should see an end of day push, and wow, we really did see a nice little push at the end of the day. I did, again, a full 1 hour would have been somewhere right here. And I was happy with that. Again, I was just looking for a little move, nice little $100 at the end of the day here to put some money back into these accounts. So well executed day, well executed game plan in general on really all of my trades, except for that one stupid trade that I took on ES. So anyway, that is the day in a nutshell, and we are quite happy with it. I am very, very happy with my execution today, and really just, you know, putting that game plan together, making it happen. As far as where the week has gone so far, here's where today is. We are green on the week, and you know, again, these bottom four accounts are sitting pretty good. We're about close to 500 to 600 in profit on each of those, which is the right direction. I like that. And on these other two, we're still down about 500 on the week. So after that big loss that we had on Monday on these two accounts, and the other one that we did blow up. So anyway, that's the week, or the week thus far. We've got 1 day left since it's a short week. So hopefully we can wrap up tomorrow on a positive note and put some more green on the charts. So again, I want to say thank you for following along. Appreciate you all. Hope you get some value out of this. Keeps me accountable to myself and to you. And it just helps me to make better decisions in my trading. And that's why I do these updates, take you along on my trading journey. Also, don't forget that Apex has this 80% off sale going on through the end of the month. Also, that Take Profit Trader sale is going on as well. And thank you for using code BCT, those of you that do, on the eval front. It does support me and helps my channel, and I do appreciate that. I appreciate all of you, by the way. So again, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for following along. Trade well, and until next time, take care and so long.